Hello, welcome back to Al Talks. This podcast I started 3 years ago to chronicle me starting stand up. This podcast is a weekly podcast. It comes out once a week, and this is just a small little introduction video into the podcast. So, down below in the description of each episode, you can go to my Linktree and find links to everything connected to me. This podcast is available on YouTube, which you're watching it on right now, and also on Spotify. But yeah, that is just a small introduction into this podcast and everything that goes along with it. Hello, welcome back. Look at my messy hair. Hello. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I did stand up in Russian for the second time, and this is the episode for this. I switch headphones as well, so it sounds a little strange, but anyway. So, how did it go? Not great. It was, compared to the other show, I don't know, strange. So what happened was I was on first anyway. So it was me. It was basically it was another Seomra Spraoi I production. So the like me and Killian, who runs Seomra Spraoi, we were with this basically from the first show. We're the only same. We're the only same, but the same performers, because the other acts were all different acts that I've never met before. So there was Igor, Lena, and Eldar. They're from Igor and Lena are actually from Siberia, which is really cool. It's actually the very first time I actually did stand up with other Siberian comics, because we are like unicorns, especially abroad, because there's not that many of us. So that was really cool. There's a lot of people in the audience from Siberia as well. This audio is a little. It's coming across a little strange. I don't know why. Maybe this will fix it. Okay, but anyway. So, yeah, Igor was the host. So he started off doing, just usual crowd work stuff, warming up the crowd before the show started. As well, this was being filmed by Studio 6 Productions, or Screen 6 Studios, I think it's called. Liam and the team, for basically getting more footage for the documentary, which will be coming out at some stage. There might be another shoot as well, I'm not too sure, but I'll have to see about that in the future. But yeah, so they were there again to film and interview and stuff like that. So yeah, so the show starts, and then Eldar's doing kind of hosting and crowd work, and then it's he like in order to basically get the crowd to remain quiet throughout the show. A lot of hosts would use this technique where they would just get people to shout out stuff so they don't do it during the show. So his way was just like, look, shout out your favorite curse words, because look, if you're from Eastern Europe, people who are from Eastern Europe or the Russian Federation, they curse a lot. Okay, that's one of the reasons I do it. Well, not one of the reasons I do it. It's just, I suppose it's you grow up with it. So he was like, just shout out your favorite curse word, and this person, the audience, got like really offended and started shouting at him, because where we were performing, Trinity Bar venue, there is like in the it was downstairs in the basement, and the very back of the room there's like an area with a projector, but we couldn't be there because it's too far away from the seats. So we were in front of that area. There was but basically where the stairs started. So we were performing there, and there was the Seomra Spraoi flag banner behind us. So there's a backdrop, but all the comics were behind there, and what we did was when we were called up on stage to perform, we walked, lifted the thing up like a curtain. That was a really cool idea. Killian came up with it. It was actually worked really, really well. So yeah, so we were sitting in the back, And when that guy started, like, basically the problem that he had with it, he was like, "Oh look," um, and it was just really strange that I don't know where it came from either. He was like, "Look, you're shaming the Siberian people and stuff," and Igor was like, "Are you from Siberia?" He's like, "No, but my mother is." He's like telling people that Siberian people curse and all this. And it's like, dude, like I said, if you grew up in Eastern Europe or the former Soviet Union or whatever, everybody curses. I mean, like, if you know Polish people, like, I mean, kurwa, which means bitches, like, every third word out of their mouth is kurwa, kurva this, kurva that. So it's like, it's what, it was really strange. So he kind of like, there was music playing upstairs as well, and Igor was like, look, there's music playing, so we're gonna have to talk over the music, basically, try and be louder. And the same guy who was offended was like, oh yeah, you try that. And I'm standing in the back of the room with the other comedians, and it's just, I'm looking at them going, ah, because I thought it was going to be a fight. This guy was like really, really loud. He was being like super disruptive, really annoying, and it was just, I don't know. You felt the energy shift in the room. Igor got back on track. He was like, um, he actually made it very funny. He was like, "Look, I realized my mistake. I was like, my mistake was asking that guy for anything. So we won't be talking anymore. It's over. That's finished." And then he moved on to other crowd work, which is really, really funny. So, about 5 or 8 minutes later, he's like, "Okay, are you ready for your first comedian night?" And I come up on stage, like I said, through the backdrop. I appear, just like, wow, whatever. So I appear and I do my opening bit and complete silence. In fact, there was people folding their arms. It's like fan fucking tastic. So it continued on. It was like, uh, it's just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the fact that the guy beforehand that got really annoyed and disruptive by it, like, for the rest of the show, he said nothing, funnily enough. Like every other comedian that was on stage, he said nothing to them. And it just didn't go well at all. Nobody seemed to be laughing at my material. People were smiling, but they weren't laughing. I did in fact, get an applause break maybe about halfway through, and I was like, okay, here's my big break. I got an applause break. I'll continue on. That'll be the pickup I'll get, but nothing, absolutely nothing. I genuinely, I don't know what happened. Like, after bad shows, as I mentioned before, Luke McCribbin wrote a really good article. He was like, look, don't worry about it until the next day, and then you can analyze and stuff. Because even after the show killer was like, because the thing is, like, I felt, even after that thing with the, and it was just, as well, at the time, a lot of people were saying when I got off stage, because it was like, it was me, Lena, and then a break, and then Elder was, oh, not Elder, Igor was back hosting, then Killian, then Elder was the headline for the second act. So it was just like, at the break, people, even because I was speaking to the audience members, I was like, I had a tough break. It's hard to go up first, and it is and it isn't sometimes, but it's just, and they were like, oh, the music's playing to your advantage. I was like, and I genuinely said it to the audience member. I was like, I don't think it was either of those things. I think it was the dickhead who was shouting, being offended at absolutely nothing, But I don't know. Maybe it was the fact that there was music, drowning in from upstairs or whatever, and like the sound system was good, so there wasn't like that the fact they couldn't hear me or whatever. Like, it's just, I don't know. In terms of material, some of it was, I'd say about half of it was. Uh, no, I wouldn't. Well, half of it was from the first show essentially. There was actually people returned from the show, but other stuff that I did, like, maybe other stuff that was new, that kind of got like one or two laughs from some. There was a guy at the front who really seemed to enjoy, especially when he's talking about like early Russian Federation, like 90s cinema and stuff, or not cinema, movies and things. He seemed to really enjoy it, and I don't know. It was. I don't know how to put it. It was strange. I did really, like I said, enjoy working with other people from my neck of the woods, which is really interesting. Like I said, I also, the, I don't know how it happened, but I forgot. 22nd of August. We're now, I'm recording this on the 4th of October. Obviously, it's not August anymore, but yeah, I'm in comedy 6 years at this stage. Um, and I kind of forgot to do a video about it, so yay, happy 6th anniversary to me. But yeah, so it's, obviously it's a learning curve. Wasn't overly thrilled I didn't do well, but I felt like everyone else did fantastic. It was a really enjoyable night. That's the aspect I enjoy, like watching the other acts. Everyone did a really, really good job. Really liked their stuff, especially the new comedians that I met. And it was, for me, it was that was the part I enjoyed because I didn't. Well, they did enjoy my performance, and I took it upon myself kind of a long time ago, especially I can't remember Ian Anderson. Yeah, I think it was during. I don't think it was during the summer. I think it was earlier in the year. I went to Crash and Burn, which is an open mic in Hysteria every Thursday. Hysteria is a comedy club that's in the basement of Chennai. I'm starting to see a pattern here. Yeah, a lot of comedy clubs in Ireland are in basements. Why? I don't know. No, it's just most pubs have. That's where their kind of away room is. Not away room, but separate room where you control the door, essentially. But anyway, so, well, yeah, so Ian Anderson was that night was particularly low turnout at Crash and Burns, only 4 people in the audience, but he performed there as though it was sold out full of people, and I was like, dude, I was really, really impressed by that. And he said, this is something that he learned from the Edinburgh Fringe. He goes, no matter how many people are there, you have to give it your all. So I really took that on board, and I tried to give my best performance on the night, but it went nowhere. Well, it didn't. Like I said, there was maybe 4 people that enjoyed my performance, the rest not so much. But then, towards the very end of the night, we were talking, because Lena is from a republic within my one, well, our one. it's all one, but anyway. So we were talking about that, her culture is very, very similar to mine. And there was actually other people with the same. It was because Eldar is from Donetsk, which is in the Ukraine region. Well, Donetsk Oblast. Oblast is like, well, not suppose, it's like county in Ireland, or county in the US, I suppose, Alabama County, or Hudson County, where Joyd is from. But yeah, so, but he is Tatar. Tatar are an ethnic group that have their own republic within the Russian Federation. I think it's about 200 kilometers east from Moscow. Their capital is called Kazan. Why Kazan plays particular historical significance within Russian, well, at that stage it was Imperial Russian history, is because during the October Revolution, the Bolsheviks tried to seize basically the country's gold reserves. But it was put on a train, and the last known location where it was held was in the vaults of the Kazan Bank. Not River Bank, an actual bank. Financial institution, if you want it. So that was actually the last known location. That's why Kazan's really significant. Because that gold went missing, it's probably worth in billions, if not trillions nowadays. Because the value of gold has been at a steady price, believe it or not. It doesn't really fluctuate. So that's why a lot of people invest in it. So why am I talking about financial investments? But it's just a bit of history stuff, because I love history. But yeah, so Elder is from, he's Tatar. I actually had a family member who was from Tatar. She passed away, unfortunately, last year. And yeah, so it was like, but that's actually a saying in Russian. If you rub anyone in Russia hard, like if you rub them hard enough, you'll find a bit of Tatar underneath. Tatar would have been part of Genghis Khan's Golden Horde when it swept through the back then known world and conquered pretty much everything. So they're quite spread throughout all of the Russian Federation and Eastern Europe. So, but yeah, so I don't know. Like I was saying, this is kind of one of my last shows for a while because I am doing other things. The other thing is secret. What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. I should probably stop touching it. Looks like I don't know what it is. Look, you know what it looks like? It's like when you take a rubber and you rub, and the black, basically the rubber turns black. That's what it looks like. I don't know why that's there, but anyway. Um. So yeah. So what is the ultimate conclusion to this? Like, also, Igor and Lena live in Amsterdam, and they know Laura anyway, because of comedy, and they actually work with Michael at the Stand Up Netherlands. So it always fascinates me how it is like comedy is so connected to not so much in Ireland but in mainland Europe. Like it is very very connected. Like like if if you remember when I went to Vienna, I met Bianca, who lives in Prague, where my friend also lives. That's where Laura lives as well. Eddie, who I went to school with, who also does stand up now. And I was like, "Do you know Eddie?" I was like, "How do you know Eddie?" I was like, "Eddie's from my town." Dude, I went to school with Eddie. That's how I know Eddie. They were like, "Oh my god." Yeah. So, but yeah, in terms of the conclusion it's just it was nice to be amongst people from my republic for probably in Ireland there isn't that many people from our republic, which is so like I said, they're very rare. They're like unicorns. So when you meet somebody, it's really rare opportunity. Like I said, even a lot of the audience members were from uh, our, my region. So it was an interesting night. I would have preferred if I performed better, but I suppose you can't win everything. Maybe you can. I don't know. And like I said, I tried my best to pick up, uh, but at least some of the audience members understood that it's just sometimes it doesn't go your way. But yeah, but like I said, there was people that came to the first show. It was nice to see returning crowds. So going forward, like it's not going to put me off doing stand up in different language. For me, it's this is also kind of a new thing. This is only my second time doing it. Like obviously I've done it loads of times in English, but this is obviously in a different language. Things are different. So we will moving forward. We'll try and come up with something. I don't know, but we'll see. Like I'll keep growing this material, see how it goes, play around with it. We'll see how things are at the next one. And also, big thanks to Killian for organizing uh, a very unique comedy show because I'd say maybe in the last year and a half or so, maybe the last 2 years, stand up in languages other than English has become very popular, especially comedians from Latin America. A lot of Brazilian comedians have started touring in Ireland in smaller venues, which is good to see. So moving for I think Irish comedy is also picking up, and not as in like English speaking comedy, actual Irish Gaelic. Oh no, not Gaelic. Gaelic is Gaelga, So so that's also kind of because a lot of people basically, if you are a teacher in the Republic of Ireland, you have to be fluent in a Gaelga Irish. So a lot of comedians who are teachers also do stand up in Irish because they're fluent. So that's kind of grown as well. So, but it's like I said, I'm always up for a challenge in stand up, where it's to challenge myself in English or completely different languages. I'm not opposed to it. This is a new realm for me, which I will endeavor to make strides in. But yeah, so we learn from this and we keep moving forward. Like I said, next couple of months, I don't think I'll be doing any shows, really, because I am busy with another project, which is proven to be just as labor intensive as doing stand up. But yeah, I'll still be doing podcasts. I'm going to see a couple of shows. I'm going to see Jordan Jensen in actually 10 days' time. She is in a rescheduled show from March. So she'll be, I think, the Ambassador Theatre, I think it is, on the 14th. So, and then I'm going to see Disturbed, I think 2 weeks after that. And that'll be it in terms of shows that I'll be going to. Obviously, Disturbed are a metal band, they're not a comedy show, if you didn't know. But yeah, so what else? I think that's pretty much it, really. As per usual, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. All the links down below to all the good stuff, and I shall see you next episode. Bye bye.